Hi, this is Dr. Gary, and welcome to my weekly tune-up this week. Wow, I'll tell you what, this has been a butt kicker last week. This week has been something else, and the people I talked to say it was one of the most stressful weeks a lot of people have had. It certainly was for me. You know, one of the things I learned this week, and boy, I'll tell you what, I had to use a lot of my own stuff on me this week just to get through it, because it started out like a lion. And one of the great gifts of the people I work with, they always keep teaching me how to do what I do better. One of the things I really had to do this week was not to take things personally, not to get upset at myself, and not implode on myself and want to quit. Yeah, I know, sounds weird to hear me say that. It even happens to me. One of the things I want you to realize, no matter what happens to you, whether it's in your job, whether it's in your family, or whether it's in school or anything else you're doing, people are people. And when you work at the game like I do in life of mentoring people and helping people with challenges and problems, whether it's drug addiction or whether it is sexual addiction or whether it's stress or trauma or wanting to do their job better or improve upon their skills, it creates stress. And then that stress sometimes comes right back to bite the facilitator right in the butt. The good news is, no matter what you do for a living, this is going to happen to you once in a while. There's not every day that's going to be good. And one of the things you're guaranteed of, you can never predict human behavior. And that goes back to what I've said a long time ago about expectations. Even though you have good intentions, even though you seem to be doing well with what you're doing, and your job seems to be going well, and the work you're doing seems to go well, never expect another human being to agree with you. It's probably not going to happen because they have their own complex equivalency, they have their own beliefs, and they also have their own circle of influence that is kind of codependent with them, that will support them when they're feeling bad and could end up making you look bad. That's exactly what happened to me this week. Bottom line is, you got to stand your ground and work with integrity and know what you do has integrity and has the good intentions and do a good job. And at the same time, give yourself permission not to be perfect. If you have a kind of a job where someone is not honoring you or validating you, it's time to learn how to validate yourself. And boy, I had a big dose of that this week myself, of really relearning how to do a little bit of that. And not second guess yourself. Always realize when you go back to think about your work and what you've done, if somebody's criticizing you about it, you have to take a look and know that you were up time doing the absolute best you could do with what you had to work with, and you had the state-of-the-art tools to use at any given moment. There was nothing better you could have done. Whether you're living your life, you're in a marriage, you got to do the same thing even in your family life. When someone comes back and says, wow, I don't like the way you parent your kids, or they're not very good parents, or you're not this or you're not that, the protection you have is to know that you've lived your life with integrity, your intentions were good, you've done the best you could in that moment, and you were not daydreaming about it. You were really conscious of what you were doing. That's the big advantage you can have by being uptime rather than downtime. And let me tell you right now, a lot of people come to me thinking I'm going to hypnotize them and make them unconscious. What I really do is create a pattern of selective awareness where they can focus like a laser beam in the moment and get out of the trance. So many people today are walking around entrained, either by their cell phones or text messaging, or what they're going to have for dinner tonight, or what they have to pick up at the store, or how much money they're not making, or what they're going to do with that bonus that they just got. They're not focused in the moment. This moment right here, right now, whether somebody wants to criticize you, or whether you want to criticize someone, is all about really understanding what is the intention behind that. And if you're criticizing someone, ask yourself, what is my intention here? Is it to make it a win-win, or is it just to hurt somebody? If you're criticizing someone and you're really upset about something, the best thing to do is calm down before you have that conversation, because you're going to say things you wish you hadn't have said. Also, if this happens to you, You have to also be uptime, be in the moment, and not defensive, and not escalate the situation. I always say you can't make sense out of nonsense. So if someone's angry at you or criticizing you, allow it to just roll off. Just be in the moment and let a little bit of time pass, and it usually will resolve, where you can talk sensibly with each other and resolve the challenge. These things come up in business every day. They come up in our lives. They come up with our families. It comes up in school. These are the relationship issues that most people have trouble with, and it's really easy to become defensive and angry. In this day and age right now, with all that's going on, all you have to do is watch the news, and it's easy to get angry or afraid. And then that fear causes you to react in certain ways. And especially if you're going through huge growth yourself, where you're really pushing yourself into new limits. You're feeling things you haven't felt before. Maybe you're feeling a level of stress that you're unfamiliar with. It's easy to get mad and kind of ricochet and want to go back to the normal, or get mad and say that doesn't work and quit. One thing happens when you quit is nothing more is going to happen. You're not going to grow anymore. If you stay in the game, what's going to happen is you're going to grow. It might not always be comfortable, but you are going to grow. And that's news for all of us. Stay in the game. So this week, stay in the game no matter what's going on. I realize there's a lot of struggles out there. I'm having them myself. I realize there's a lot of stress. I feel it too. However, let's do one more week, and let's pay attention to being uptime rather than downtime, and let's really be proactive rather than reactive. If someone comes at us and is unhappy with us, let them be unhappy with us. And just know you were uptime doing the best you could do, and you can't do better than your best. Until next time, I'm wishing all of you an extraordinary week. Send this to someone if it can help them. I appreciate all of your feedback, and I want you to have a great week this week. Bye-bye.